All right. Now I think we got it. So, Cory and Jennifer, great to see you guys. How have you been?
We've been pretty good.
Not too bad. How you guys doing?
We're doing well. Cory and Jennifer, this is Chris and Audra. They are the other two members of the EVPI Entity Voices Paranormal team. So I want to introduce you guys to them.
Hello, hello.
Hello, nice to meet you guys.
Nice meeting you guys.
It's nice to meet you. I watched you for a week.
Thanks.
How are you guys doing after the 3 weeks 24/7?
Yeah.
It,
That had to be exhausting for you guys.
it was exhausting, but sad at the same time when it was over with. It's almost like you wake up the next morning and you're in the routine of it, but it was weird. It was weird to walk around and not have the cameras anymore. It's kind of it was weird.
Well, you guys have the privacy now.
True. True.
So one of the first questions that comes to my mind is, after having done that for 7 days, 24 hours a day, what happened to the activity in the house? Did it increase, decrease? Didn't notice any difference? I'm just curious what kind of effect that had.
I didn't notice any difference.
I mean, besides everybody messaging us saying, "Oh my God, you got to look back on the camera at this time" and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the activity in the house, I don't think it's really changed. I almost thought it might amp it up a bit, but it really didn't.
no, we had a lot of people complaining things were happening at their house. So
Yeah, actually, we did.
You know, it's funny you say that, though, because I saw lots of posts like that where people were posting after watching for the last couple of days, "Oh my gosh, this happened and that happened." And I guess it's possible, but that was, I've seen those as well.
Yeah, it's funny. It was something I never thought would happen. I just didn't think, I don't know, you just don't think it's possible, I guess. I mean, it's weird.
So no unusual things have happened, normal day-to-day occurrences. Have you guys spent the 3 weeks that since you did the live, have you been at the house the whole time?
I went up to Maine for about a week and a half. I work per diem at a doctor's office up there, and they've been shut down for a little while, so getting themselves started back up, they needed the extra help. But Cory stayed here with John.
Very cool.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys didn't complain about it being crazy or anything. John did a couple live streams, but he had some really good EVPs, but nothing crazy. Like
EVPs have increased quite a bit, which we never used to get a lot of EVPs, and now they're just real clear, which that's kind of nice. Don't really have to use Audacity all that much now.
Right.
So.
Well, even Spirit Box, I guess, is pretty good sessions as well, but it doesn't seem like. I feel like doors were opening more before, like as far as things moving, I feel like it was more active before. I thought that would increase.
Wow. Do you think maybe because of that week-long trying to communicate with them so heavily, I mean, you guys used every tool in the book in order to try to do that. Do you think maybe that because that week of that intense trying, that maybe that's why the EVPs picked up, because now they know you're listening, know you're paying attention, and maybe that's what caused the increase in EVPs?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good way of looking at it.
I think they like the attention.
Yeah, that I'm sure they do.
Well, I know Jennifer sent you some video clips, and we have a surprise for you guys.
We sure do. They, Jen and Cory sent me 2 very interesting clips, and ones that weren't shown on the live stream. And there's some very interesting stuff in there. We'll get to those.
I know.
We'll
I'm
get
excited.
to those a little later in the show. But yeah, very excited about that, and I'm sure our audience will enjoy that. But we'll take a look at those just in a little bit. But so How long were you away from the house, Jennifer, that you went to Maine? A week or
It was about a week and a half.
about a week and a half?
Yeah.
Did you notice any strange feelings when you were away? Like anything pulling you back or any mood changes or same with you, Cory, about being in the home alone? Oh, Cory's got something to say. I can tell by the look on his face.
No, I'll be the first. I'll be the first one to tell you. Like the more time you spend here, it's. I don't know. You don't have like a feeling like you have to leave, but when you do leave the house, you just feel like this overwhelming sensation that it's like, oh, thank God. And it's not anything negative or anything. It's hard to explain, but it's just like a huge weight's lifted off your shoulders and stuff. And I don't really, nobody can tell me why that is.
It's almost like re-energizing, I guess you could say.
I guess maybe it's just you're so drained from being here all the time and just having that energy around you.
But I always feel pulled back here. I love it here. He's a little worried about how obsessed I am being here.
What about
she was
the
all
kids?
rolling in the grass the other day.
He's not.
What about your kids?
Yeah, have they been in the house since the live stream?
Maddie still has not. Kyler hasn't either. He just finished up school on Friday, so he hasn't been here since then either. Since we went back.
Probably won't either.
He will. Maddie probably won't.
Wow, that's interesting. Chris, Audra, I don't want to be talking over you. Got anything you wanna ask?
Well, here's a question for you, and I'm sure you guys have probably had this question before, but I've got to ask. So, Conjuring the movie compared to Conjuring the house that you guys actually live in, I know there's a lot of the Hollywood hype during the movie, but what similarities to the evidence that they had in the movie that they talked about did you guys see being actually in the house?
The children's spirits, I know we kind of deal with that a little bit. At least that's what we're taking it as. You know, They like playing with the toys and mischievous and stuff like that. There's nothing negative in the house, even though that's what everybody kept saying to us. I'm like, oh my God, don't. But I mean, it's nothing like Hollywood did their thing and the real life. I mean, is it haunted? Yeah. But to that extent, to our knowledge, no.
Right.
I mean, what the parents went through, could that happen here? Yeah. I mean, I just think we just came in with like a different understanding of it and we're more open to it. And it's like, we're not going to push you guys away. We just want to live cohesively, if you will.
Right.
And learn from each other. So.
Now, are you there full time? I guess I didn't realize you were living in the house full time.
Yeah, we have. We still have our house up in Maine. We have 2 kids. Our oldest is in college. She's 20, and she is still up in Maine. She just stays at the house, and so we haven't sold that house yet. So we are back and forth. We're not like, we're mostly here.
Oh, okay.
We do have It's nice to go up to Maine and kind of escape for a little bit, but we're mostly here. It's our primary home here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Escape.
So on a day-to-day basis, they're not like this. It's normal. It's so what we would call being paranormal investigators. It's normal paranormal activity. It's not something that drives you nuts every day while you're living in the house. It's just something that you learn to live with. You coexist with it, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's
Okay.
just everyday normal stuff. It's nothing. We've never experienced anything here that makes us feel like it's not inviting or. It's not terrifying. It's active, but it's like a friendly. I don't know. It's so hard to explain it.
Even the shadow figure, like you would think you've seen a full-bodied shadow figure staring at you at midnight, like in the doorway it would freak you out, but we high-fived each other and we're like, that's awesome. But you could tell it was just being inquisitive. It's like staring at us and it was just like, what are these guys doing? And we're like, waving to it. And it's like, what the?
It just doesn't feel harmful. It just I don't know.
Good.
It's home.
Oh, wow.
Home.
Yeah, that's awesome, and the fact that you guys can embrace that. I mean, Chris, I know we've run into shadow figures, I don't know how many times in the hospital, but big difference between that and being in your bedroom and looking at the door and having it be right there. So, I mean, not that we haven't had things follow us back, but yeah, I give you a lot of credit for.
No,
for
our
that.
guys are not selling the house.
Not right now, no.
Not right now. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome though, and the fact that you guys are spending the majority of your time there and get to keep an eye on what's happening and what's changing on a regular basis. We totally understand that. We do that as well, but to live it 24/7, very envious of that, because you get to, nothing's going to happen that you're not going to catch one way or another. And, maybe not the first time, but definitely the second or third, or, however many times it occurs. But that's awesome. But that does remind me of one of the first clips that I think I'd like to play. And this one, it sounds like because I've listened to it before I put it into the program, but it sounds like this was actually occurring and captured during the live stream, correct? Because I think I hear Jay's voice on here.
Yes, it is during the live stream. At the end of the live stream, we got to go over some of the evidence that people sent to us, but there was so much evidence that I just think it's not fair that we get to show everything. So I picked a few things that I really still wanted to be able to put out there, because people caught some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And being able to share that, like you said, because there were time constraints for everybody involved. But I'm going to play that first one and let our viewers take a look at it. Now, I've seen, I'm going to wait till after it plays. I'll play it first, and then I'll give my comments. So give me 1 second. All right, here it is.
I feel like we're making those breakthroughs and we're leaning towards that goal that we all, have.
Jennifer and Cory, do you guys feel like we might have answers in our lifetime?
Okay, you know what? That was extremely interesting to me, and here's a couple of reasons why. One, I mean, we've seen lots of orbs before, but what's really curious to me about this one is that the night vision camera is on, the night vision lights are constant, but yet this is pulsating, flashing, which would not be possible if this was dust or a bug. I mean, that light from the IR camera would keep it lit unless it flew out of range, but this thing goes on, off, multiple times, which to me really makes it stand out as something not normal, paranormal, but not the usual case where if you see a piece of dust float by that's lit up and looks like it's glowing, but it's doing nothing more than reflecting the light from the IR camera. This one's moving along a path and the light would hit it the whole way. So that's amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. She sent it to me and asked if we had lightning bugs inside the house. And I was like, well, we do in the summertime outside, but it's too early for that now. And
sure.
We would have noticed a lightning bug flying around the house.
Yeah.
There was another thing in this clip that the first time I watched it caught my attention immediately. And I know you guys can't actually hear it. Our audience can, but I believe there's an EVP in there as well when Cory and Jay are talking. And that EVP, when Cory's talking about trying to be able to capture evidence to, get more information, find out what's going on. So I'm just going to play that. It's the same clip, but it calls out where I'm hearing that EVP. So I'm going to play it so our audience can hear it. Here it comes.
I feel like we're making those breakthroughs and we're leaning towards that goal that we all, have.
Jennifer and Cory, do you guys feel like we might have answers in our lifetime?
Okay, it's really fast, but it's very audible. So I'm going to play it just one more time just in case somebody missed it. So give me one more second to play that again. Here it comes.
I feel like we're making those breakthroughs and we're leaning towards that goal that we all, have.
Jennifer and Cory, do you guys feel like we might have answers in our lifetime?
That's very clear.
It's very clear, and I know you guys can't see it because of the way that the OBS and the other programs all mix to put us all together. But right after Cory, like I said, explains what he's trying and hoping to achieve, you hear this voice say yes in a whisper, disembodied voice, and then Jay follows it right after, and the EVP and then Jay's voice are pretty close together, but the audio sound between the two of them are completely different. So I thought that was really curious. So when you go back and watch this one, you'll be able to see it play, but thought that was extremely interesting. And I don't know if you can, Chris or Audra, you weren't, obviously because we're live, you weren't able to see the video as well, but did you happen to hear that by any chance when I sent those over?
No, I didn't hear it. We did see the video because I've got two windows open, so we're watching as we're live streaming. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we saw the clip.
20 seconds behind.
Yeah.
Ours is the same way. It's like people are writing comments and trying to keep up with them. But anyway, yeah. I found that extremely fascinating because it was a very clear yes, and it's very sticks out very, very well.
Okay, that's important.
And like I said, it came right in between Cory and Jay answering Cory, and it clearly sounded like a spirit answering yes to what Cory was saying. So that was really cool.
You can tell the difference of the disembodied voice.
Absolutely, and that's what stood out to me the first time I heard it. But that was cool. On top of the fact that you've got this orb pulsating. And then, like you said, unless it is a lightning bug, but yeah, too early. I would think it's still too cold for it.
Yeah, it was pretty cold that week. I turned the heat up. People were complaining they could hear the heat kicking on.
Okay, I'm gonna play the next one that you guys sent over because this one, again, isn't just one aspect, but you have multiple instances of what appears to be paranormal activity happening in the same little clip that you sent. And this one's really interesting because you guys are obviously looking at the SLS camera. You're obviously trying to get a spirit that showed up on it to interact with you. And I think Cory even said something along the lines of, could you stop dancing? And I'm gonna play it now and let our audience see what happens. So let's oops, what is this? Okay, so let me play this one and then we'll talk about it. Here it comes.
Yeah. Oh, you can see it. Yeah, you can.
Oh my god, that is so
scary. Can you stop
scary.
dancing for a second?
They just asked them to stop dancing. Let's see. I hope that's not where she. Oh my god.
I just totally forgot to touch it. I got so into all this what I was looking at. I was. Why never getting this thing going? Said something about like runaway, rapture, camera. What?
Oh!
Where'd you go?
He's gone.
Come back.
Holy.
Come back. He's trying to fall.
I have chills.
That's pretty cool.
That was absolutely fascinating. So let me ask my first question: was the Was the figure off the ground? He looked like he was either suspended in the air or up against a wall.
Yeah, it looked like he was on top of like this bench that's in there, and he was doing a jig or something. I don't know what he was doing. Like doing something. And I was like, can you just stop dancing for a second? And that's when we got like the camera shut off, and then the obelisk went off. And
right, and the obelisk actually said camera, which had just shut off. That's amazing. I mean, that's too coincidental to be a coincidence. But and the fact that you, right when you had asked him to stop dancing, because I mean he was really moving. I mean that was a ton of movement, arms, legs.
It was like a disco move.
Yeah, that was. I mean, we've seen. I'm sorry. What'd you say, Jennifer?
People made some pretty funny TikToks with video afterwards. Yeah,
new memes coming out.
Yeah.
Well, here's a good question. Do you think that was one of the child spirits, and the reason they messed with the camera and shut it down is because you were asking him to stop, and he was having so much fun?
Maybe. I mean, I was just. It's weird because later on that night, we got a good EVP up in the birthing room that it was Jarvis Smith. Jarvis Smith was the one that died of exposure out in the barn.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if they're just messing with us or we actually figured something out.
Wow.
Could be.
And what part of the house did you guys catch that figures?
That was out in the barn.
In the barn.
Oh, that was the barn. Okay.
Yeah, it was part of the barn investigation.
That's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, pretty sure that was everybody's favorite night, was the barn.
It was a popular one, no doubt about it, because I mean that was extremely interesting. It was fun to watch all the investigating stuff you guys did out there. Plus, you know, when you leave the house, I mean there's something scary about, you know, barns as well, and knowing, you know, who knows what's hiding out there, but that was
actually, that was our first time investigating the barn as well. I mean, we've been here since last summer, but we hadn't cleaned it out enough to actually investigate. So the week prior, we spent a lot of time out there cleaning it so that it wasn't real bad. I mean, it's still a barn and it still needs more work, but that was our first time out there investigating, so it's kind of neat.
Very cool.
Very cool. So the big question is whoa, I squeaked there for a minute. The big question is now that you guys are, I mean, you're living there mostly full time, you've got the other house in Maine. Would you ever open up your house to other paranormal groups to come in and investigate, or is that, I mean, would that be hard to do if you guys are living there?
No, we've been doing it for the past couple months, actually.
Yeah.
We have a room, we call it our command center, but it's where we have like a security camera set up and all that, and TVs, monitors, and we stay down there. We have all the amenities we need. We got a shower, a bathroom, refrigerator, and we just stay down there, and they have basically the run of the rest of the farm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And people that come to investigate, they catch, I mean, it's kind of like a live stream. They get to do our job for us. They catch so much stuff that it's just so cool to see what other people can get.
Right.
Yeah. Have you noticed that the other investigators actually catch different entities or EVPs or voices that you guys don't usually get?
Yeah, it's a mix of everything. There's nothing consistent about any of the investigations that either we do or other people do. The only thing that's consistent is a strong male entity and a female sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mix between both. I think it's mostly male, but there's a strong presence of both, and then children. But that's
well, like, we have a friend, Mary Jo. She's come up with her team 3 times, and on those 3 different times, they've had all different experiences.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no consistency whatsoever.
Right. I mean, other than the strong male presence, and then sometimes people think it's a female. Really, and that there's children here, which is, I mean, that's not really, there's no names that are common. There's nothing that's consistent between us and everybody else as a whole. It's weird. That's what makes it so hard. It's like people, I think they expect to come and say, is Bathsheba here? And they expect to get an answer, but you probably ask it 6 times and you'll get 6 different answers, you know?
Interesting. Do you think maybe that since there's no consistency and maybe there was different experiences with the family that lived there that the movie was based on compared to what happens now and all the investigators getting different stuff, do you think there's a chance there might be like a portal on the property?
Yeah, we've started to,
We've started looking more into that. We've been told there's multiple portals on the property.
Oh, wow.
It's what's weird is it's almost like if you watch The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, we're almost dealing with like everything they're dealing with, less the cattle mutilations. You know, like everything they're dealing with, we're dealing with here. And it's like, you know, we're sitting on 2 major ley lines. We're sitting on a giant aquifer. We have an open well in the basement. We're sitting on a river that was covered over during the last ice age.
Yeah.
It's just,
we learned, I mean, the aquifer, the ley lines, we knew all of that stuff beforehand, but we learned so much the week of the live stream. Like, we had no idea that the river, there's a river underneath us that was covered from the last ice age. I mean, we learned so much information, and the week of the live stream is when a lot of people brought up portals. And
so you could almost say that you've got the paranormal perfect storm going there on the property.
Like it kind of explains a lot, though. You don't really think about it until you see all the coincidences and when people start bringing up, you know.
It's just aggravating because a lot of the stuff that we've dealt with down here, I've only been doing this a little over 10 years, which isn't nothing, but it's like the bursts of light and stuff like that. I can't wrap my head around it because I've never seen it before. And I've only seen it like on certain programs and stuff like that. And they don't even come up with an answer.
Sir No Face?
Sir No Face, but also, what did we just watch? The House in Between.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
They actually documented it as well. And it's like, so what is it? Like, and they're asking scientists and stuff, and scientists are like, well, I don't know what the friggin' answer. How about that?
Right.
You know? But it was just, I don't know.
So let me ask you both a question. We're very familiar that you knew the reputation from a paranormal side, and obviously being investigators, you knew what you were in for. But there was a ton of information that came out on the 7-day live stream that there's been some UFO activity, stuff you've seen yourself, and there were some connections made between things very much like you said, like Skinwalker Ranch, where they're having both sides of the equation, where they're having UFO activity, they're having extraterrestrial activity, they're having, paranormal stuff going on. Were you aware of that prior to buying the house?
No.
No. And it's actually not even something that we've even thought into. I mean, we did prior to the live stream, I guess we had discussed it, but I think it was more of there's a lot of stuff that's weird and coincidental. Until the live stream, we're more than us. When other people are noticing these things and talking about it, then it's almost like that makes it real. Like, we had talked about it before. Isn't this weird that, it seems very similar, but until the live stream, it was almost like it made it real. Kind of scary.
Yeah. I know Chris is probably just biting his tongue wanting to say how bad he wants to. He's been talking about Skinwalker Ranch since we've known him. But big, and of course, anybody who's into anything on the paranormal side would love to get out there because of all the activity they have. But I know that's a huge interest of Chris's. that place.
Oh yeah, now that you guys are comparing your property to Skinwalker Ranch, I mean Skinwalker Ranch. I mean, I just watched the last episode for the of the season today while I was supposed to be working. So,
remember you're
so
live.
Live stream, Chris.
Live stream, Chris.
Yeah, I know. Like,
Your boss is
now
watching.
that you guys are saying that the property relates to like the Skinwalker Ranch and all the different activity going on, I'm looking up at the top screen, looking at Tony and Sheree, thinking, when are we going?
I agree. If any opportunity, yeah, we'll take you guys as well. If any time that opportunity presents itself, I don't think any one of the six of us would not probably jump at that because.
Yeah.
So I remember. Cory, you saying that there were some picture frames that flew off the wall, but you had made a comment, and this goes back to the clip we had just watched about the dancing stick figure and you asking him to stop, and then the Ovilus saying camera. And the reason why I'm asking this is because we've literally had spirits in our hospital. We've set up cameras and they've come forward, and then we've literally gotten EVPs that say camera, like they know it's there. And I remember you saying that, you know, pictures would come off the wall, but it would be like just out of the shot of either one of the two cameras in the room. And I'm curious whether you think the dancing figure that we watched falls along that same lines, where they knew it was being recorded. They knew you could see them, and therefore they restricted their activity.
I mean, there's a good chance. I mean, you know, you have the trickster activity, you know, that, you know, they're moving stuff and, you know.
They're definitely intelligent. They're definitely intelligent.
I mean, they're very aware of where the cameras are.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
They're very aware of, you know, where we are, and, you know, and it's just a couple times. I mean, we've caught it just like on the edge of the cameras.
Yeah.
One with the picture frame. Another one was we had Jeff Belanger over the house.
Oh yeah, the bag.
And we had a bag get tossed in the library, and we were looking through all the camera angles, and you just actually see it underneath the leg on his chair, you know, just barely. And it's like, you guys are just messing with us.
They're intelligent. I feel like they just,
they're just good at what they do.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I mean, Sheree and I for years used to travel to haunted hotels when we first started. And what was the first thing we'd do? We'd set up cameras in our own room, because we'd pick the most haunted rooms in all the places we stayed. I can tell you, the one way to make sure you're not going to get any activity at all is to set up cameras, because they know they're there.
The stationary camera,
right?
You got to set it up.
Sure.
It's hard to catch, I guess, a shadow figure. Like when you're holding camera, it's too difficult to, you know, actually capture.
It's a challenge. I mean, we've captured them. Chris pointed out that one in the hospital, and I couldn't even see it.
We can see it, but it's just hard to capture them on camera.
It is difficult, but he literally said, take a picture now, and we did, and sure enough, he was absolutely right. You can see it standing, you can see the head, the shoulder, the arm, and then about half the body, but he was right on track. It was right there, and I remember, Chris, you even said, I'm looking right at it. Take a picture now.
Yeah, I even guided you which direction to point the camera. Yeah. To the right side, right in the door. I'm staring right at it. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, that was. But absolutely agree with you guys. I mean, they are just as intelligent as we are, and they know when there's devices and they'll avoid them. Because I mean, I don't even know how many hotels we set up cameras in, and I don't think we've ever captured anything in the overnight.
Well, because we don't. Well, we don't review our evidence, especially on DVR, because you're too lazy.
No, I do it, but I mean, after 8 hours of reviewing, and nothing happens, and you do that 20 times, yeah, it gets difficult. No doubt about
we've gotten pretty lazy too. Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to take 1 second. I just want to look through the comments, and if anybody out there that's listening and has a comment that they'd like to have us ask Cory or Jennifer, feel free to punch those in now. I'm going to take just a moment to look through them. I know there's a slight delay.
Jed said something.
I like Jed's comment.
Watching on my 60-inch screen, Tony has a big head. Okay, let me back up a little bit. Yeah, how's that? Is that better, Jed? Okay, I was the closest to the camera. I just want to point that out.
So, Cory and Jennifer, I'm sure you've probably been asked this one before too, but what drove you to buy the house?
No, to be honest, I mean, what are the chances you're ever going to have a chance to buy something like this? I mean, it's steeped in American history and it's steeped in, paranormal history.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a twofer. And we're just excited, we got more land down here than we do up in Maine, which is.
I was actually going to ask you that. How much land is there?
8.5 acres.
8.5 acres. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is nice.
That is very nice.
Yeah.
Maybe we can build another house next to it.
I know, a tiny home. There's like so much land. We've talked about that too. Like a little tiny home.
Huh.
Did you guys have any further information after the live stream about where the original well was, or is that still a mystery?
That is still a mystery.
Wow.
I'm thinking it's probably further than what we've been looking at. Andrea gave me almost like a step-by-step on the direction to go with, but I'm thinking as a child she probably thought it was so much closer, because I think she said once you get to the bridge it's like 1/8 of a mile, and I mean I've walked even way further than that.
They own like 90 acres though. When the parents lived there, they owned like 90 acres.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, who knows where it is?
True.
I'm thinking we didn't look deep enough. I think she thought it was closer. As a kid, everything, doesn't seem like that far if you're running with your sisters and stuff going to play in the woods. I think it's just she thought it was closer than it really is. So we'll have to just walk a little deeper. That's all.
All right, you seen anything come in?
Well, let's see if there's anybody that wanted to ask question to Jennifer and Cory.
We got a Judy Zimmerman that said they wanted to thank Cory and Jen again. She had a great week, it says.
That's
Oh yes, I
awesome.
did see that one. Yeah, good to call that out. Yeah, so many people enjoyed that week-long live, and very disappointed when it ended. That's for sure.
Well, maybe we can do part 2.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what to do next. A week was a long time, but maybe, I don't know. We're trying to think of something cool we can do.
Yeah, that had to be difficult.
Well, it's weird because, I mean, when you own a place like this, it's like, I'll be honest, I go to bed at like 7 o'clock at night. I don't investigate all that much because it's like, it's not going to do like, it's not going to wow me all the time. So it's like, if it wakes me up out of a dead sleep, I'll be like, oh, awesome. I'll review the DVR. But I'm in bed at 7 o'clock and now all of a sudden I'm like juggling and stuff and trying to think of things for people. And I was like, I thought they wanted to watch the house on their own.
Yeah,
I didn't know we had to lead an investigation.
Well, we really did think that people would they're like, okay, seriously, you guys are here all the time. Like, just go to bed so we can spy on your house. We just figured people wanted to watch stuff. We didn't think that they wanted to watch us. So I was surprised by that, but
I'm watching John sleep. Like, oh.
Well, they captured some pretty cool stuff. That
That's
blanket
true.
was
Yeah,
pretty
the
cool.
blanket movement.
Yeah.
So here's a good question from it. We've got a question from Carrie Harper. Carrie Harper she's a really good friend of ours. She does History of a Haunting podcast. And her question is, she finds it interesting that the experiences aren't as dangerous as the Perone's family. So she's got a question. Do you know if the house was ever cleansed before you guys got there or not?
I think so.
It may have been. I mean,
didn't the Warrens try and cleanse it before they left?
No.
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 I guess I don't know the answer.
No, it's hard to say what happened like from between the parents,
right?
When we bought it, because the previous owner, I know there's a lot of hearsay what she dealt with and stuff here in the home, but there's a lot of things that were left here in the house that lead you to believe that they were warding off spirits. You know, they got, you know, brooms in corners and yeah.
It's
decorations. Yeah. Decorates like that. I'm sorry, but
less coins in the yard, you know, decoration.
Holy water, you know.
I guess I really don't know. I would assume so, but I don't know. I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
We haven't.
Yeah, we haven't, and we won't. I mean, unless it absolutely calls for it, because
right.
You know, what we're dealing with right now is intelligent, and they're very hospitable, I would say. So,
harmless.
They're good roommates. Yeah.
Yeah, well, those are the best ones to have. They don't eat
anything out of the fridge.
Exactly. That's a plus.
All right. So I have to ask one last question, and that question is, do you have any more questions you'd like to see if the Evox can answer for you? If you don't, no big deal. I just thought I'd ask, and it gave some interesting answers last time. Did you ever figure out if there were 5 evil out of the 8 good, or out of the 5 out of the 8? I mean, 3 good.
Did we ever even do a spirit box or EVP along with that?
No, we didn't. No.
But you know what's funny? Did we, when we did the Ouija board session with Colin?
Yeah.
I forget his last name. Bowen.
Yeah.
Bowen. Yeah.
He kept getting 5 a lot. Like he kept getting 5 throughout the whole thing.
Wow.
And I think that was after we met with you guys, right?
I want to say before, wasn't it?
Was that the dual one, or was that the one he did from his house?
The dual one.
The dual one. I think that was that before?
That was before.
I think that was before the dual.
I think it's after.
I honestly can't remember.
Yeah, it's before.
Yeah,
it's before.
I thought it was before, because wasn't Colin was on Monday or Tuesday, right?
The first time, but I think the second time was Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay, well we were on 11 o'clock Wednesday Pacific time, so I don't know. That's a good question though. I'll have to go back and take a look. He was either he was either right on line with it if it was before, or picking up the same thing if after, but pretty cool.
Right. And if it was Wednesday, it would have been the same day. That would have been kind of cool as well.
Ask is our home
portal?
Oh, well, I think they already answered that. But yes, Jed, hey, just looking at your question, ask if our home is a portal. Yeah, I think they've experienced that from a variety of different people saying things that were happening. I had even asked a question about them or having other people feeling vibrations either from the land or the house. And I think Andrea said that there was some rock wall in the back or something that if you were back by it and you laid down on the ground, you could feel those vibrations. So, you know, and the fact that you've got other investigators coming in and getting or sensing whether it's either a man or a woman or something completely different, a portal makes perfect sense, that they're coming and going as they please, and from one day to the next, you might not be experiencing the same ones that were there the day before. So that's very possible.
I wonder if he wants us to ask the Echo Box that question.
I think that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
You want me to ask that?
Yeah.
If you have a portal there?
Let's find out.
Let's find out. Yeah.
Okay, give me just 1 minute. I just got to rearrange a little stuff here, and hopefully nothing goes haywire.
All right, Tony, while you're doing that, Justin wants to know how extreme would it what would have to happen to make you consider getting rid of the property? I mean, that's a hard question for paranormal investigators. I mean, you see a spirit in the doorway, you high five. I mean, it's going to have to be extreme, I would think.
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, like, where it's, I mean, our son's getting ready to graduate high school next year, so it's like it's basically just going to be me and Jen. So,
I think for me, it would be more of a
personal attacks.
Yeah, like if it felt scary, if it felt like it was going to harm me, then I think that's where I draw the line. Because right now,
so it'd have to be balanced out to pretty much the movie in order for you to get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean,
it does. I mean, the thing is it always feels scary.
Well, like a jump scare, not like a I'm going to hurt you scare.
Keyword scare. And I told everybody that. I'm like, look, you're going to see people get scared, regardless how it's going to jump you.
Yeah, but I think a jump scare is different. That's like watching a horror movie, but you still love it. You still eat your popcorn and stare because you can't look away.
Yeah, but at the same time, don't you look around and be like, oh, crap, I was the only one that jumped.
No, I don't do
that.
So to answer your question, Justin, they're not selling the house.
That's funny.
Do you feel like Jed also had asked if you feel like some of your local spirits follow you around? So like if you go up to Maine, Jen, do you think any of them come with you?
Last summer when we first bought the house, there was 2 separate incidences where I thought maybe something had followed me.
Okay.
The first time my son was down here, I think with Cory, and it was Madison and I up there. And I knew Madison was at work. Her car was gone. I pulled into the driveway. I knew she wasn't there, but when I walked through the door, I heard a voice upstairs. So I was like, is that you, Madison? So I creeped up the stairs still knowing she's not there, and she wasn't there. It was weird. And then the second time was I plugged my cell phone in on a stand that has like the cell phone cord goes up through it. So it's down in the cord, and
right.
It came out and like around and fell off to the side where it's not physically possible. It would have taken the whole thing if it tipped one way or the other. And it was weird. Like I kind of stopped and looked at it, like, how did that even happen? But other than those 2 incidences, I don't feel like anything's ever.
I never get to go home, so I don't know.
Stop it.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, then that means when I was screaming at the software program before it went live, that means everyone can hear me too. All right.
Yeah, remember this is live, Tony. There's no beeps.
All right, so one question for the Evox. Cory and Jennifer want to know if there is a portal in their home. Let's see if we can get Ooh. Is there a portal in their home?
You say portal?
Almost. It sounded like it.
It sounded like it. I'm not sure, though. Is there a portal in the home?
It sounded like it again.
There is?
Very? Yes.
There is, yeah.
Did you say yes?
No.
That was a clear no. Did you say there is?
Is there a portal there? Can you answer that again?
Tony, ask if there's one on the property.
What about on the property? Is there a portal on the property?
No.
Huh?
Wait.
Is
I heard it.
he said portal?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. Is there a portal on the property?
Is that a yeah?
Hello.
Jay?
Jay or gay?
You said Jay.
Sounded like I said Jay, yeah.
Yeah, it did sound like it.
Can you say hi to Jennifer and Cory?
Can you say hello?
Yeah.
Do it.
Cool.
Can you say hello to Jennifer and Cory? Hello. Two of them. Three.
Oh, yeah.
Time. No.
Help.
No.
Oh.
Help.
All right. Well, we won't take up any more of your time, but that was great to see if they would answer that. It sounds like you probably do have portal there. Can you help me move this back a second, honey?
Sure.
So anyway, wanted to thank. Sorry, I'm off the screen at the moment. I had a completely another USB camera set up aimed right at the Evox, and for some reason OBS was kicking it out when I went to use my computer camera, and it wouldn't operate both of them when I went live. I had it all hooked up. I'm not sure what happened, but anyway, wanted to sincerely say thank you, Cory and Jennifer,
It was fun
for coming on and talking with us. And now our light's not on us anymore, so we're probably hidden in the shadows. But thank you very much for doing this. This was great. It was great to talk with you guys again. And, just wanted to say thanks for doing the live with us, and from all of Entity Voices.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
It was very nice meeting you guys.
And
Thank you.
We can visit you guys next year, maybe?
Yeah, we got to get this virus out of the way, but yeah, if nothing else, I'm sure Chris and I will be planning a trip to Skinwalker, so we'll let you know when that happens.
And if you guys ever make it down to Arizona, we'd love to take you down to the hospital.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. And
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say not during the summer, though.
Yeah, you don't want to do it. It's getting warm,
It's too hot.
and
Brutal.
the nights. Well, it's not too bad yet at night, but anyway, with that said, we're gonna close the show with a little clip for our hospital. And again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful evening, and I'm sure
Thanks,
we'll talk
guys.
again.
Everybody stay haunted.
See you guys.
Oh, did you hear that?
I did. There's a woman in here. Mary, are you in here again?
There is a male talking. I can hear it. Are you in here?
Fucking hear that?
Yeah. What the heck was that? What the
Fuck was that?
What the heck was that?
You heard that too.
Oh, absolutely.
That was in here.
It was
outside.
Who's in here? Hello? Oh my God, Chris, did you hear that?
That wasn't you?
No.
Something's in here.
I know something's in here.